So it's not all the time, but sometimes we get a treat. And today, our customer made us fresh cookies. Check this out. I can't wait. Let's see, official taste test. That's good. Good morning, everybody. It's Drew from Atlantis, and today we are gonna be transforming this old pond into a beautiful front door falls pondless waterfall. Let's check this out. So we are going to be tearing this all out. This one rock stays since this is bigger than what myself and Rob are going to be able to move by hand, because this job is nestled right into the customer's garden. So we can't disrupt any of that with the big machine. All of this will be handwork. We're going to be pulling all of our material using just the wheelbarrow from the truck up through here. This is our staging area where we're going to take all of these rocks from the old feature apart and then reusing them in the new feature. So all these rocks are going to help create an incredible small little waterfall with neat cascades. We're gonna tuck it around this big rock here, already covered in nice mature moss, and then just snake it around here. Our basin will be at the bottom. Where are you at? Yeah. Why are you hiding over there? Cool.
We're gonna kill it.
We're gonna crush this one. All right, I'm excited. You guys hang tight, follow along. I'm gonna do a step-by-step kind of tutorial on how we install a feature like this, so you'll be able to do it at home in your backyard. Okay, we've got our old pond ripped out. We're keeping these two boulders here. This one is just simply bigger than what two men can move. We might be able to shovel and get it to turn a little bit, but I like where the rock sits, and I imagine our waterfall can just snake up right up to the edge of it. Some stonework will blend the two together. You won't see the liner, you won't see any of that stuff, and then it'll give the illusion that over time this has just kind of carved its way through these two frame rocks. So those are actually going to work out perfect where they are. We have to now figure out where to set the depth of our basin and the length of it, because we want an overall stream that is 6 foot long. Okay, so we are going to measure out. We've got our tape measure and paint. We're going to measure where it has to be, then we can start our excavation and get this in the ground. Okay, I have got several components laid out here in front of us here. I'm gonna go through and tell you what each one of these is and why we're using in this application for this installation. So, Aqua Basin 45 holds 100 gallons of water. We have got our Aqua Surge pump. We've got a low suction fitting. These were the pre-filter screens that come with the Aqua Surge pump out of the box. Got a hole saw, got my knife, got some silicone. Why do I have all this stuff and what does it do? So, this pump is going to be able to sit right on the floor of our basin. The factory inlet is about 2 inches off of where the feet of the pump sit. And the reason that's important, I bring that up and why we're using this, is because 2 inches of water in this basin is a pretty decent volume percentage-wise for the system. So we want to be able to have access and allow this pump access to all of the water in this basin. Okay, so this low suction valve changes the intake from that 2 inches above the ground to now about 1/4 of an inch off the ground. So this, when installed on the floor of our basin, is going to have access to almost the entire 100 gallons of water that's stored in here, allowing longer times before having to top it off due to evaporation and splash, and then just volume for our pump to be recirculating through the system. The other things I have here are a series of connections and fittings that come in the box with your Aqua Surge pump. And then lastly, the important part here is our bulkhead fitting. This we drilled through the sidewall of our basin. This has a rubber washer on the inside of it, which makes this, when tightened down with the collar over here, makes that a watertight seal. I used a 2.5-inch hole saw drill bit, which was just slightly larger and allowed that bulkhead to fit right through. Tighten the collar. This is a reverse thread, so you have to actually turn left to tighten it. I got it nice and hand tight, and then using a pair of channel locks, I gave it just a 1/4 extra turn just to snug it up good, pulling that rubber washer real tight to the sidewall of here, making it watertight. I then, using all of the 1.5-inch fittings that come with the pump, connected like a spacer here, and then that's gonna connect right to here. So I lined everything up before I drilled it. This is going to connect right to here. It's a threaded collar on this. So if the pump ever has to come out for service or for the winter time, whatever reason, you just simply spin this collar, it comes off that fitting, and then the pump can be taken out and removed. From on the outside here, I've got a 1.5-inch male pipe thread fitting screwed into the bulkhead. This is a slip fitting on the outside, so we'll be able to glue in our 1.5-inch flex PVC pipe that then feeds up to our spillway. So that's all our hardware here. I'm gonna get this installed, and then we can set this inside our excavation. So Aqua Basin is in the ground. We leveled off the excavation before we dropped it in, and then once it's in place, we've put our level on it. This has to be level from left to right and from front to back. We do this just so that pump, once situated, is gonna have access. If this was tilted one way or the other, the pump won't have access to all of the water, but when it's perfectly flat, that water will just be drawn into the pump as it's needed. So now what Rob is doing here, we have to trench out a line for our plumbing, and then we're gonna go around and start backfilling with the end of our shovel all the way around this to lock this in place so it's not going to be shifting or fall off its balance here. So I've got an elbow into our male pipe thread fitting. This is an 1.5-inch elbow. Got our pipe here ready. Got my hot glue ready. So I am going to glue the pipe and the fitting, slide it in there, make sure I hold it until that glue sets for about 30 seconds, and then we can start running our pipe there, backfilling behind it, get that all up to our grade, and then the fun part begins, because we're gonna start building this waterfall. So we've got our frame rocks, and the bottommost we're already set on top of our liner, which is on top of the basin. What we then did, we flipped all of that over the top of it so we can build up and get our change in elevation behind that spillway. And what Rob's doing here, he's just making sure that we are about 2.5 inches below the top of that weir. And what that's going to allow us to do is have in about 1 inch of gravel and then some pooling before that water comes over the face of that spillway stone. So we've got the framework of a pretty sweet waterfall here. Oh my goodness, it's raining too hard. So real fast, so we're gonna have a total of 4 drops. Starting where Rob is up at the top there, that's our spillway diffuser. That's gonna have water that wells up over a nice smaller spillway down into a small pooling area where it turns around, hits this cool style pinch waterfall, then into a pooling area, and then finally down the last 2 spillways. So this is only a length of about 6.5 feet from where that spillway is to where it's going to end over here. So there is a lot going on in this small space. The customer was out just before it started raining, and we're going to go inside now. What we got is almost a completed, incredibly cool 6-foot long pondless waterfall just nestled into this luscious, beautiful garden here. I think when we turn this on for the first time and catch her reaction, you guys, even at home, are gonna be blown away with how awesome and how cool this fits just perfectly into this landscape. So just hang on just a bit longer and we're gonna fire this thing up and let us know what you think. I am so happy with how this is coming together. We've got our outcropping rocks. We worked in between this massive boulder that was here before. We also had this other one there that you now just really see that tip of it just right there. But then all of this stonework. The water is going to be welling up and then coming over a spillway, filling up that pool, and then pinching right between those rocks there as it fills into this pool and then cascades its way down into the basin. We've got some edge work to do. We're gonna be repurposing some of our plants, regrading this. Rob's just getting some extra topsoil, but then this is gonna be ready to be rinsed and plugged in. So you guys sit tight. This one, I promise, is gonna be awesome. All right, the moment has come. Rob, plug it in. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Are you ready?
I am ready. It's a nice sound already.
You can hear it?
Right from here, which is awesome.
That is.
Aww. You guys did a great job. Wow. It's awesome. Thank you, Augie.
That reaction from her walking out the back door, coming about halfway towards the feature, and she stopped and said, I can already hear it. That is exactly what we wanted. It's not a huge pump moving tons of water, but there's just enough to create that gentle, soothing sound with that just tranquility, that relaxation sound. It is absolutely perfect. She loves it. We love it. But we want to know what you think. So if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Follow along. We are doing builds big and small all the time and releasing videos for you guys to watch and learn and just be along on the ride with us. So hit that subscribe button, leave your comments below, and we'll see you on the next one.